Surprisingly, the main event of this show, we were supposed to get a tag team unification match. Instead, we got a 6-man tag match featuring Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Drew McIntyre and RKBro.
What do you think would have been the main event on this program before they decided to put Drew and Roman in the 6-man tag?
I don't know.
I would have put Cody and Seth on top.
Did they think they were going to have Brock for a second month when they originally booked this?
I don't know. But they had teased the tag team unification match with Orton and Riddle and the Usos. the Usos. And then they just added Drew and Roman, and here we go. Let's face it, Roman's over, and Orton's, at this point, he's bulletproof. He's, one of the icons. And the other guys, this would have been a great house show match, house show main event, but a pay-per-view, it's not that it was a bad match or subpar talent. I don't think any of the fans wanted to see it particularly that bad. I think the fans in Providence liked it because they're sitting there, they bought a ticket and paid to see it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But is this, when you think of big show main events, having some type of, the fans being invested, want to see what's going to happen, want to see the match, see who's going to win, whatever the case. This was, Seth and Cody was a better match. Charlotte and Ronda had more heat. Plus, they got to use the chairs and the no DQ and all that stuff. And this was a regular 6-man tag match with no special rules and star power, top talent, but nobody was demanding to see the top talent in this combination. And especially early at the start, Roman, not wanting to get in the ring with Drew McIntyre, got more response than the other guys did with the wrestling. But this was kind of two matches. First, it was the 6-man tag. Everybody's putting their time in. There was 12 minutes, by the way, from the start of the entrances to the bell. But everybody's putting their time, doing their stuff. And Reigns and Orton were kind of slumming because they're head and shoulders above everybody else in this. And Riddle, I just can't get it. His work, his style, his appearance, his bare feet, they all just come off as weird to me. I can see Snuka wrestling barefoot, Yokozuna wrestling barefoot. I don't see this guy as a barefoot motherfucker. So I can't get it. But anyway, finally, Reigns and Drew got in after some time had passed, and then they started having the modern, it was 2 matches. The first half was like a house show 6-man tag, and then they kicked it up a notch, but they started doing the modern sports entertainment match where the other 4 guys were just out on the floor waiting for their next scene and not even visible on camera when Reigns and Drew did their stuff. And then maybe at one point, one Uso popped in the ring, took one bump, rolled back out. And I swear to God, it's so distracting to me now when in tags or 6-man tags or whatever, everybody else besides the 2 guys in the ring just disappears. You can't see anybody. It's not that they're laying out on the floor selling. It's that they're hiding somewhere where the camera's not going to see them at all because they know that they've got nothing to fucking sell for 3 minutes. People have been hit with fucking cars on the street and get up to their feet quicker. They're just hiding because they're not in the scene. And it distracts me more than anything I can think of. Minutes went by before these guys got back in the ring, and then they got some heat on Drew, but he got a tag to Orton, and Orton made a comeback and got him back into it. And then finally he RKO'd Roman Reigns and the place blew up. And then it started more modern wrestling. Everybody then did everything to each other. And they will run in, do a move, and then they'd roll out and disappear until their next scene. And bless Paul, verbally, he's the goddamn star of pro wrestling. There's nobody that can talk like Paul Heyman, but I don't even know why he shows up for these things. He's never called on to interfere. He's never figured in any of the finishes. He stands at ringside, stock still, holding those belts and doesn't move. There could be a cardboard cutout. And just introduce him, and there's the cardboard, and you wouldn't know the difference. Are they telling him to do this? I mean, if you don't figure the manager in the finish, that's one thing, but my God, it's like he's planted in concrete. And meanwhile, everybody else is doing everything. Drew and Roman tore up the desk, and Roman rock bottom Drew through the announce desk. Everybody did dives. Who's legal? I don't fucking know. It was just boom, boom, boom. One guy to run in and do a move and roll out. And finally, Riddle gave one of the Usos, something off the top rope, one of his flipping, rolling things. And Roman came in and speared Riddle. 1, 2, 3. Were they legal? I don't know. Did the referee know? I don't know. I'd lost track so long beforehand. It was 2 matches. It was a regular arena match. It wasn't necessarily setting the world on fire on pay-per-view. And then suddenly they just decided, well, we'll just do everything we've ever known, and lost everybody. And the heels won. What'd you think?
It was all right. It was a Raw main event. I wasn't excited at all about a 6-man main event where there's nothing on the line, nothing matters in any way. I didn't really care. I can't add too much else.
It was just there. It was kind of just there.
I mean, if they're trying to get people excited about Roman versus McIntyre, this almost did that. I mean, he pinned someone else at the end. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about Roman Reigns a little later on, but the other thing is, where do you go with Roman? I guess it's McIntyre now, and then what? When are we getting Cody and Roman?
Boy, it's tough because they should hold that back as long as they can, but there's nobody else in the middle.
Cody and Roman with Heyman doing whatever he does behind the scenes, it'll be great.
Oh, that's why I'm saying is that's besides the carrot at the end of the stick, Roman Reigns and The Rock in Los Angeles. I don't see anybody on the roster that they haven't already, done with Roman that would matter again besides Cody.
And Roman and The Rock doesn't need the belt.
Well, that is a point. That's still going to be the biggest thing they could do, whether the belt is on the line or not. And honestly, well, if the belt ain't on the line, I was going to say, because Roman obviously needs to win the thing, but will they do that? Or will they, if they get The Rock, even if The Rock says Roman needs to win, will they send the fans home without seeing The Rock win on his last match ever? Probably.
It would be pretty amazing if the long-term booking was the whole bloodline thing for years led up to The Rock defeating Roman Reigns in the name of the family.
And one of these sharp writers and or manipulators could probably sell anybody, even Roman Reigns, on that as making some kind of sense, but Rock would know it was bullshit from the start. And I can't see The Rock agreeing to do the match unless Roman goes over, because Rock doesn't need it, but Roman Day would hurt. Nothing's going to hurt The Rock, but it would hurt Roman. So I can't see Rock doing it unless Roman wins. And I honestly can't see Vince doing the match unless Rock wins. So that'll be it. But besides that, where we were going with that was Cody's the only other opponent Roman's got. If they do it at SummerSlam, Cody could win and he could drop it back. Royal Rumble, if they had to have the belt at WrestleMania, if they do get that match. Otherwise, it would be a rematch of Cody and Roman at WrestleMania, which wouldn't be bad either, probably, the way things are going. Because who else will it be? Steve Lombardi? Even with Harvey Whippleman in his corner, I don't know if that one will draw.